Hey, you guys. So, because of the nature of this video, this will likely go straight to my Patreon after I air it. But I do want to have the conversation openly. I don't know. It just depends on how this goes, because it does deal with another YouTuber, and I most certainly am not encouraging anybody to harass or treat badly or anything. This young man, he literally looks like he could be my son. But, um, as far as his age goes, but he did make an interesting video. And I would have ripped the video and simply not shown his name. But throughout the whole video, he keeps putting his name on the screen. So because he keeps putting his name on the screen, I don't have a way to keep him anonymous. So because of that, I'm just going to show his video. And the title of this is Are Black Women the Weakest Link? And I say this because his video is directed at Black women. And it is directed at Black women because he's hoping Black women will change their behavior to garner influence over straight men who don't agree with homosexuality. And he does this in a way that is actually very manipulative. I don't know if he's trying to be manipulative. Sometimes people are naturally manipulative and they're not even attempting to be manipulative, but he is being very manipulative in this video. And I just thought it was interesting that a homosexual man would make a whole video geared towards straight women, basically checking and guilting them into discouraging their partners who were straight men and are quote unquote homophobic, which basically means they don't approve of homosexuality, kind of shaming or bullying them into approval of that lifestyle. So, hey Kevin, hey Liv, um, hey Self-Care Boss, Snapzilla. So, with all that said, hi Suleiman. With all that said, I'm going to go ahead and show his video. Again, do not harass this young boy. He looks about the same age as my eldest son, like around that age, and, early 20s, mid 20s. I'm not using his video as an example to shade him. I'm using his video as an example of a strategy that is used to infiltrate the community that has a Black face. Also, I want to be clear again that I would have kept him anonymous, okay? I would have kept his name and his page anonymous, but because he puts it all over his video, I cannot really do that, okay? So I just want to clear those two things up, because to me, he is like a baby. All right. To me, he is very young. But I mean, he made the video, y'all, and the video is directed at Black women, and I'm a Black woman. So I want to talk about it. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. We're going to listen to the video. Hopefully, you guys can hear it soon because it's early in the morning here, and I was not trying to set up the whole world for you guys. As far as like audio and all that is concerned. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play his video. His video is about 15 minutes long. I'm going to play it in its entirety. Of course, I am going to stop it and give some commentary, but I think we need to hear. I don't want to cut and chop his message. Okay. I am starting it well, I'll just start it from the beginning. What the hell? Okay. Let me share my screen with you guys. Oh, hold on. All right, here we go.
And welcome back to your boy's channel. How are you doing today? I hope that you're feeling positive. I hope that you're feeling beautiful. I hope that you're feeling strong, capable. I'm caring about, your well-being, okay? Because if nobody else is doing it, Tariq Ali is going to do it, okay? So I hope that you guys are good. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while because I just feel like a lot of women, need to hear it. We're going to be talking about how homophobic boyfriends affect straight women, or how homophobic men in general affect straight women, okay? Because I think a lot of women don't think that homophobic men actually affects them directly. I think that they think homophobic men only affects gay people. And I know that the word homophobic really does pertain to gay people or queer people. But girl, you will be affected in some way.
So he's setting the premise, and this is interesting because when we talk about homosexuality, and the majority of homosexuals are men, when we talk about homosexuality, he, as a man, is really having a problem with other men, right? Homosexual men, their biggest problem is going to be straight men who do not accept homosexuality. Now, instead of him making a video talking to other men, right, about what he perceives as homophobia, what he's done is he's gone to the weaker vessel. That's why I said, are women the weakest link? Because he's not talking to other men. What he's doing is he's directing his commentary at us, and he's going, my problem is your problem too. That's the premise he's starting with. My problem is your problem too. You think that men who don't like homosexuals is just my problem as a gay dude, but nah, women, it's your problem too. So he starts off by complimenting, I care for you, I hope you're doing great, da 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 da. And then he moves on to, we have a mutual problem. And our mutual problem are straight men who don't like gay men. It's just an interesting strategy.
So, in this video, I'm really going to get into that. Y'all know I never come here to be right, okay? I just come to start the conversation because it is not only about me, okay? This is about a community. This is about all of us. So please make sure that during this video, you are commenting what you think, your opinions. What do you agree with? What do you not agree with? It's all about that. You don't have to agree with me all the time, and you will not agree with me all the time. I hope that you don't agree with me all the time, okay? So let's get started. So look, before we get started into this conversation, y'all know I like to drink wine. This is some cheap wine, girl. Look, I did not feel like going to Kroger, and girl, I had to go to the corner store.
So the one thing he and I do agree on is this is a community issue. He said it's a community issue, and I agree with him.
The only time there is an exception is when it's your family. Okay, you can't do nothing about a homophobic mama. Okay, I'm not asking you to disown your mama. I'm not asking you to disown your cousin, girl. The only time there is an exception is the corner store. We're going to be drinking Pinot Grigio, and we're going to get right into this conversation, girl. First of all, let me just say, no friend of mine is going to be dating a homophobe. The only time there is...
So he's saying no friend of his is going to be dating a homophobe. Okay. So he's already setting the premise that women, we should not pick sexual partners who do not approve of homosexuality. He's already saying that. And he's also setting a premise that as women, we should be befriending gay men. Now, remember, this is specifically directed at Black women. He called it a community issue. Maybe he's talking to white women too. But if I go to his comment section, let me just take a look. Yeah, I'm seeing mostly Black women. So I'm going to say his target audience is Black women. If they're not his target, that's who's down here. Is basically Black women and gay men. So his target audience is Black women, okay? So he's setting a premise. Number one, be friends with gay dudes. Number two, when you're friends with gay dudes, you cannot have sexual partners who don't approve of homosexuality. Now, I don't understand why a Black woman would be friends with a gay man, because us making these people comfortable as women, helping them pick out clothes, helping them wear makeup, co-signing their behavior, things like that, kind of turning them into our girlfriend, our non-threatening male girlfriend, is problematic. But he's already establishing you should not be dating somebody who doesn't approve of homosexuality. He's going to go as far as you shouldn't even be around them unless they're family members. And number 3, that you should be friends with gay men. He's throwing all this out there at the beginning of the video as the foundation.
An exception is when it's your family. Okay, you can't do nothing about no homophobic mama. Okay, I'm not asking you to disown your mama. I'm not asking you to disown your cousin, girl. You know what I mean? I don't care how long we've been friends or been, cool in it, whatever. I don't care. When y'all are laying down in the bed and he's talking about you, you're just sitting there and you're not saying anything. He's saying all these things about gay people. He's saying the F word. He calling me the F word, and you just sitting there like, stop, and he keep going. That's all you do. That's all you do is stop. And I've had friends like that in high school where they would just have boyfriends that just talked about me or just felt uncomfortable around, like just looking at me like this. And I'm not even the most feminine person, but I'll just be sitting there, girl, and just being myself just like this. And they don't say nothing. They just let it be. And they feel like it's never going to affect them. But girl, let's get into the tea. I do think...
Liv, I think he wants more than to be accepted, right? Because he's saying it's not good enough for you to accept me. I don't even want you to be with anybody who will not accept me. So he's literally saying, I am intolerant of women being with men who don't accept my homosexuality. So he has an intolerance, but so I don't think this is about acceptance. I think this is about forcing the hand of straight men. See, this video is not actually about women. He's talking to women, but what he's doing is he's setting up an attack on straight men. He's talking to women because we're the ones who have sex with straight men. We're the ones who marry and give them children and have relationships with straight men. So this video, he's going to talk a lot about us, but this video is not about us. This video is about making us sympathize with his position over the straight male position. And he's going to demonize straight men in a little bit.
Silence is compliance. By you not saying anything and by you not standing up, they think that they can be homophobic around you and they think that that's fine. They pretty much think that you agree with them because you're not saying anything against it. Now, if I sat here and said Beyonce can't sing and she's the worst performer of all time, if you sit here and don't say nothing, I'm pretty much going to think that you agree. And it's much more than just homophobia. This is the same with white people. Now, if I had a white friend that had a white husband or a white whatever that was saying all these racist things when I'm not there and they're not standing up for me or saying anything about that, we have reason to believe that they agree with whatever is being said around them, don't we? They feel like you're a safe space for them to be homophobic. You're a safe space for them to be racist. You're a safe space for them to be misogynistic. Whenever you're silent, you're compliant, okay? And you're enabling that hate.
And actually, I agree with him there. When we are silent, we're being compliant. Because you know that this could work the adverse too. Perhaps a woman doesn't agree with homosexuality, right? But she loves her cousin or she loves her childhood friend. And they suddenly come off as gay and the woman doesn't know what to do. She doesn't approve, but she doesn't cast that person off immediately. But your silence says that you approve and encourages their behavior. In the same way that he's saying silence. Now, first and foremost, you guys know I don't believe in using derogatory terms for homosexuals. I'm not going to use, like he said, the F word. I don't think that that's necessary. I don't think it's necessary to pull out F words and stuff like this for gay people to have a conversation about them. That's just ridiculous, right? But what he is saying can work in the adverse too. Our silence with regard to their sexuality also says that we approve of it, which leaves people like him open to be confused about why somebody that is silent and quietly approving of his homosexuality would understand the point of somebody who doesn't approve of their homosexuality. And I have to say, I don't know about you guys, but the men that I'm surrounded with don't approve of homosexuality, but they don't use derogatory terms to talk about homosexuals. They don't talk about homosexuals at all. And should it come up, what they normally do is they want that whole lifestyle and that whole conversation to not be a part of their space. I don't know a lot of straight men who go on opining about homosexuals and the homosexual lifestyle. That's not a thing that I have personally experienced. I don't know a man who would be naked in bed with me at night talking about a gay person. I would start to question what the hell's going on with him. Okay. So these pictures he is painting, I feel, are unrealistic. I don't know. Y'all tell me, ladies, do you lay in bed with your men and talk about gay people? Like, let me know.
And this message isn't just for straight women. I feel like this message also needs to be to gay, not even gay, but just queer people in general. If your friend is sitting around and kicking with people that talk shit about you, you wouldn't be friends with that person. So why is it okay when their boyfriend is being homophobic? Why are we okay with this? That's not something you should be okay with. Okay, so how does this affect women? How does homophobic men, homophobic boyfriends affect women? Okay, so look, let me just say that usually a man is not blatantly or strongly homophobic because they really have a problem with gay people. Usually it has nothing to do with that. Usually it's not that. You see how a lot of women...
I'm sorry. I just want to point out his shirt says YouTube Black on it. Remember, YouTube Black is the event that YouTube just threw where one of their opening performances was a Black man in leggings or legging shorts or something and a half shirt twerking and dropping it like it was hot, surrounded by Black women. That's YouTube Black for you. I'm not surprised he's advertising this shirt. I was pissed off that YouTube had the audacity to do that. Just have an opening act with a Black man behaving like a woman on a stage, surrounded by Black women, sort of emulating exactly what he was doing. But that's just a sidebar.
They may have their views about gay people. They may be heterosexist. They may think that being gay is I'm a Christian, whatever. But they don't go to certain extents. You know what I mean? They'll still dance with gay people in a club and be cool with us, but still have their true inner feelings about gay people. But do you notice that there are some men that go out of their way to be blatantly homophobic? You know what I mean? This usually has nothing to do with us. This usually has nothing to do with gay people. It usually has nothing to do with me. It usually has to do with the man being very insecure. It usually has to do with trying to make themselves seem more masculine.
And I think this is interesting. He says you shouldn't be with them and they're insecure. So a man, and he says going out of his way, and I don't know what going out of his way is, because I just don't know very many men who go out of their way to do anything related to gay people. You know? But he says that they are insecure, which is interesting. It's interesting how disdain or disgust or being uncomfortable with somebody, a man wanting to have sex with other men, like having issues with that, is a sign of insecurity. I think that's interesting that that's the correlation he's making. But I'm going to let him talk because he goes on to just totally just start bashing them in about 3 seconds.
We normalize masculinity with being straight. It has to do with them looking more straight. They're trying to go as far and deviate as far away from homosexuality as possible. So what do? To do that, they talk about gay people and they degrade gay people. They talk about how it's wrong because the more you do that, the more straight you are, okay?
Talking about how gayness is wrong apparently is a sign of insecurity. This is kind of a twisting of facts to me, but okay.
Because you're so against this, you're so bad, okay? Because it's polar opposites. You're either gay or you're straight. And I'm saying that in a sarcastic way. But yeah, so them being homophobic usually has nothing to do with actual gay people. It has to do with their position on the spectrum. It has to do with how other people perceive them. It has to do with how women see them. It has to do with how gay people see them. It has to do with how they see themselves. And usually they're not that secure and they don't see themselves as that much. Usually they see themselves as this big, okay? And then...
So straight men who don't vibe with homosexuality are insecure and they see themselves as this big, really, really tiny. They're little minuscule, insecure men. And that's really their problem, not the fact that they just don't approve of homosexuality. Now, mind you, it's interesting that if you're homophobic, like you're scared of gay people, that your reasoning would be to confront gay people. Because normally when people have phobias, you avoid your phobia. Like, you know, if you have arachnophobia, if you're scared of spiders, you don't spend all of your time obsessing about spiders. You just get the heck out of Dodge. You might jump on a chair or run out the room or leave the whole house if you see a spider. That's why I'm like, what is homophobic? I've never actually met a homophobic person. I've never actually met a person who's legitimately afraid of gay people, who have a phobia, an unreasonable fear of gay people. I would say the fact that a man is directly willing to address the fact that they believe homosexuality is wrong would be an indication that they're not afraid of gay people at all. But, you know, don't let me make sense out of words, because that's not what we're here for.
Talking about gay people and degrading gay people is a way that they can become bigger. It's one thing not to agree with gay people, like that's not even a thing. I just know that's something that a lot of straight people say, but you can't really agree with something that's going to be there regardless. It's kind of like, oh, I don't agree with black people, or I don't agree with the blue sky, but hey, if that's what y'all want to say, it's
now he's trying to invalidate even disagreeing with homosexuality. So let's say this, it's unnatural. Okay, it is unnatural. Homosexuality is unnatural. It's not helpful. Homosexuality is a mental illness. It's self-destructive. As somebody pointed out in one of my previous lives, these men who spend years having anal sex reach a point where their anus muscles become so weak that they cannot keep in their own feces, because the butt is not meant to have a penis shoved in it repeatedly over time or ever. So a lot of them end up having to wear adult diapers and things like that because their anal cavity becomes so wrecked from the behavior. So I'm going to just go with it's unnatural. It's unnatural for that act to go on, and it's not healthy for the person. It's unhealthy. I'll point to the CDC. You know, it's unhealthy, it's unnatural. Since we can't say that we don't agree with it, right? You can't agree with something that is just going to be there. You know, I don't agree with pedophilia. Is that invalid too, since there may always be somebody out there wanting to have sex with a child? Do you see how these arguments like stop making sense when you apply them to other things? I don't agree with walking outside and just slapping people in the face, but there are some people that get down like that. They'll smack a bitch. Okay? Can I not say that I don't agree with it simply because somebody's still going to do it? He's literally saying that. He's literally saying you cannot say you don't agree with homosexuality because it's going to go on, period. But that's just a stupid argument. We wouldn't apply that to anything else, but whatever. He's young, so he may not be able to express himself in a way that actually makes sense when it's dissected.
It's one thing to not agree with us, okay, but it's another to like go out of your way and to be blatantly homophobic and to bring it up when people are not even talking about it, or point it out when nobody's even looking at it. And when a man is not comfortable in his masculinity, which also translates to him not being comfortable in his sexuality, because like I said, those things are normalized together, it creates toxic masculinity. And toxic masculinity is not something that just affects gay people. This is something that affects women. When a man has a toxic masculinity, he's going to do things that make him feel more masculine, make him feel more like a man, makes him feel more straight. Okay, and this is not only just talking about gay people. This isn't just being homophobic because that makes him feel more like a man, but he's going to do things to women to make him feel more like a man. I mean, look at the history of times. Men over time for centuries have put down women to make themselves feel more like a man.
This is interesting. He said men over time have put down women to make themselves feel more like a man. That is an interesting comment to me, because in societies where homosexuality was rampant and homosexuality was the norm, it is those societies where women were devalued the most. Isn't it interesting? Isn't it fascinating he's making this point right now, knowing nothing about the history of his own sexuality? In places where homosexuality ran rampant, i.g. Europe, okay, or i.e. Europe, okay. In Europe, in Rome, in Greece, where homosexuality was the norm, women were made second-class citizens. And men of all ages were upheld over women. Heterosexuality doesn't cause women to be devalued. Homosexuality caused women to be devalued. He's talking about look at history. And I'm like, has he looked at history? Because the history that actually exists shows just the adverse. The history that exists shows that where homosexuality is widely accepted and normalized, women are degraded in their status in society, and children are heavily sexually abused. That is actually what history shows. So I'm not sure what history book he read, but he didn't read the one about homosexuality. He didn't read the one about societies that run rampant with homosexuality. In fact, societies with homosexuality come to a horrible demise. They get nicknames like the lovers of boys. That's what they used to call the Greeks, the lovers of boys. So it's interesting that he's trying to make a historical argument for this, knowing nothing about the historical aspect of homosexuality. It's never helped any society. It's only ruined societies. And women are treated the worst in societies where there is rampant homosexuality. That is facts. That is history. But let him rewrite history for this video. He's about to say that women, if gay men are going to be victimized by straight men, you guys are going to be victimized too. And he's going to pull out all of these traits to pander to a feminist mindset that he's going to say are exemplified by men who are heterosexual and do not approve of homosexuality.
This is why a lot of men rape. It's because it gives them power. They feel dominant. They feel like a man. They feel masculine. It's a lot.
So first thing he pulls out the box is rape. Little men who are homophobic, they want to make sure that they feel masculine, so they rape you. So then my question is, you know the transgender that they put in a women's prison and he started raping women? What about him? He was transgender. He was raping women. What does that say about him? What about the great amounts of homosexual rape that go on in male prisons? Say 20% of men in male prisons are raped. What about that? Those are gay people. Do you know what I'm saying? I linked on my community tab a whole documentary about a man who's homosexual who said he took pleasure out of raping other men. They're not even straight. But he's going to make it sound like straight men who are homophobic rape women. And then he's going to go off with all the other things that straight men who are homophobic do to help them feel more masculine.
Things that go into there, but I'm going to go into the 4 top ways that they're going to do this in a relationship. Now, the first thing he will do.
Yes, there are trans men in the Middle East, but remember in the Middle East, they have sex with sheep. This is like a normal thing. There are actually documentaries on in the Middle East, men having sex with animals. They do it to preserve their quote unquote virginity. I'm not making this up. This is not even like an abnormal thing, like having sex with animals. Places where in the Middle East, they have young boys dance for men. That's what I'm saying. And where there is homosexuality, the societies are awful and women are treated like crap. We can pick any society with highly accepted homosexuality that we want. No matter what society we pick, the story is the same. Women are treated badly, children are heavily exploited in these societies.
or may do is be controlling. Okay, he's going to control his girlfriend. Okay, now how does this translate? It's because when you have toxic masculinity, I cannot say toxic, girl. It's hard to say, girl, or is it the wine? But when a man has toxic masculinity, he's always trying to build his own confidence and his own masculinity. And what other way to do that than to make a woman feel less than or make himself feel more dominant? And to be dominant, you have to be in control. Okay, now for a man to be controlling, he's going to control you. He's going to tell you.
So now he's talking about a man that wants to be in control. Remember, this is all about homophobic men and how it affects women. He's saying that it's going to be toxic masculinity, that a man who is homophobic feels like a little man, and so he's going to rape to gain power, and he's going to try to control you to gain power because they want control. So first and foremost, let's be clear that it's okay for a man to want to be in control of a relationship. Like, somebody's got to be the leader. And I mean, Mr. leads me. And he's also very loving. Somebody being a leader doesn't mean that they're a horrible person. Now, some people are just horrible people, but a leader, a man wanting to lead and have control in his family as a leader is not a sign of anything toxic or anything unhealthy. That's not, like, the two things are not synonymous. But he's pandering to a lot of feminist talking points, because remember, this is directed at women to get them to disapprove of and not date men who do not approve of homosexuality.
Who you can be friends with, who you can't be friends with, where you can go, where you can't go, girl. He's going to ask to check your phone, girl. He's going to tell you what you can't wear. He's going to be controlling.
He's going to tell you what you can't wear. Look, anybody married around here? Is anybody married around here? Has your husband, your longtime partner, ever been like, yeah, I really don't want you wearing that outside. That's just not appropriate. Can you change your clothes? How is that a bad, like, what? I'm sorry. I don't understand what's wrong with that. That doesn't necessarily mean your man feels very little and, you know, it's all because he's homophobic. Because remember, that's where this argument is stemming from. This is homophobic men. He's talking about the traits of men who don't like gay men, straight men who don't like homosexuality. He's laying out their personality traits. And again, I just want to point out that he's directing this video at women. See, as a man, he can't go head to head with a straight man. So what he's doing is he's coming for their women. He's going, oh, the women are weak. I can manipulate and get in the women's head easier because these men are not about to have a conversation with me. I might get my face busted. They're mad that I'm even moving funny in their community. So what he's doing is he's coming for the women because he can make all these appeals to women. And that's why this is titled, Are Women the Weak Link? This is a man who has a problem with the behavior of other men. And his solution is to come to women and try to get into our ears and our heads so that we change our behavior toward heteronormative men, men who are heterosexual with normal mentalities. He's not talking to the men, he's coming to talk to the women and get in our heads so that we will change our behavior, because we, as the people who have sex with them and marry them and give them babies, if we take a strong arm on them in defense of homosexual men, then it's more likely to change their behavior than if he, as a man, just addresses other men himself. Which is, how can I say this? Taking him out of the picture. Let's take this young man out of the picture because he's young. He looks like literally he could be my child. Taking this young man out of the picture, it's a bitch move. It really is. I had somebody do this to me here on YouTube. They had a beef with Taz, but because Taz scares them, they tried to drag me into it and use me as a weapon. They tried to weaponize me as a woman. in their beef with Taz because they were not bold enough to approach him as a man. That is a bitch move. That's what I called that at the time. You're a whole female. If you have an issue as a man with the behavior of other men, that has nothing to do with us women. Why are you dragging us into it? What do we have to do with this? He's really attempting to weaponize heterosexual women against heterosexual men, which is very interesting. He's trying to get us to believe that his plight and issues with straight men are our plight and issues with straight men, so that we will fight the gay fight for them. And that is just fascinating to me. It just really is.
Because that control makes him feel empowered. It makes him feel like he has power. Well, it is power to tell somebody what they can and can't do. And that is one way that a lot of men show dominance and masculinity and to build their egos over women is by controlling them. The second thing he will do, which is kind of like the first one, but just in a very specific way, he will put you down. With men like this, you have to continuously stroke their ego because they are not confident and they are not secure in themselves. He will point out a lot of things that he doesn't like about you because he can't point out the things that he doesn't like about himself. Okay, there's a lot of things about himself that he won't be able to tell you, which is his discomfort with his masculinity. A lot of men don't even know how to, disclose or identify that. I think a lot of men don't even realize that they have discomfort with their masculinity, or they don't feel confident enough in their masculinity, in their sexuality. And girl, you're going to find yourself always having to stroke his ego so that he can feel better about that, because it's always easier to point out other people's shortcomings and what they can improve on or what we don't like about them than to talk about the ones that we need to do within ourselves. So,
isn't that funny that he's spending a whole video talking about other people's shortcomings and then has the audacity to say it's easy to point out other people's shortcomings, but not your own? That's just interesting. That's just fascinating to me. Sidebar.
Okay, and a lot of these men are going to do that to their girlfriends and to their women, okay, because they're uncomfortable with their masculinity and they don't even know how to verbalize that. And this doesn't even have to be in a relationship. People all the time tear down other people to make themselves feel better. If he's uncomfortable about his masculinity and his sexuality, what makes you think that he won't point out the things about yours that he doesn't like, or about your life, or about your body, or about your looks, or about your femininity that he doesn't like, so that he can feel comfortable about his? Another thing he will do is he won't let you be a strong woman. Okay, girl, I'm telling you, a lot of these.
This is such a smooth setup, y'all. I don't know if he's clever on his own or if he's just in the vibe of it all, because he started the conversation with, "Oh, I'm here to support you. I love you. I just want to make sure y'all are okay." Then he said, "Girl, we have a mutual problem. Our mutual problem are these straight dudes who don't like gay guys. This is a problem for me, girl, and it's a problem for you too. This is a community problem." Then he moves on to, "I don't think that straight women should have straight male partners that don't like gays. Like, you don't have to disown your family or anything, but you're co-signing him not liking gay people if you don't stand up to him, or you're dating him, or you're going to be with him. No friend of mine is going to have a husband or a partner who doesn't like gay people." Then he goes to, "Oh, these straight guys that don't like gay guys, it's not even about us. It's not even about them not approving of us poking each other in the butt. Oh, no, it's not that. It's about the fact that they feel like little teeny tiny men, and they just want to be as far away from gayness as possible to make themselves feel more masculine." Then he goes on to say that these kind of men are the men that rape women. That's the first thing he gave. They rape women. They control you. They want to be in charge of you. They might tell you that an outfit is inappropriate. Right? Now he's like he's not a strong woman. I'm telling you, this is definitely directed at Black women. Okay. You're not going to be able to be a strong woman with these straight men that don't like gay guys. Y'all, he's trying to turn us into whole weapons against our own men. He's trying to weaponize us. He's using all the talking points, all the feminist talking points. They're rapists. It's toxic masculinity. They want to control you. They're trying to make so you're going to have to stroke their ego. You know, what he doesn't know is that I like stroking my man's ego, and I like when my man stroke mine. Oh, baby, you look sexy. I love that. Okay, stroke my ego, baby. Okay, please, please, mister, tell me I look good. You know, please tell me that you like what I cooked you. That's part of a relationship. That's not anything toxic about that. You stroking your man's ego, letting him know you enjoyed what happened in bed last night, letting him know that you like the dress that he picked out for you by putting it on. That's called a healthy relationship. What in the world? You know what I'm saying? If the person that you lay down and have sex with at night cannot stroke your ego a little bit, who can? You know what I'm saying? Who can do it then? What is wrong with that? I don't understand that. But he's going on to the strong woman argument, right? Because the strong woman argument often pits heterosexual women against heterosexual men. You get these women on this I'm a strong woman argument, and all of a sudden the enemy becomes the man. So his talking points are very clever. He started with rape. He's closing it out with the strong woman argument.
Men, they're uncomfortable with themselves. So why would they be okay with you being strong, confident, having more money, having a good job? These are the men that don't want you to get that promotion, girl. It's the same man that don't want you paying for the bill. And he paid for the last 5 and you just want to pay for 1, but he's not okay with that. He's going to use you in every way possible to make himself feel more like a man. So why would he want a strong woman to take control or to have any type of control or any type of dominance in a relationship if he just, girl, it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. Another thing he'll do is not take the time to take interest in your interests, but he'll expect you to take interest in his. What I mean by that is, for example, he'll lay down and he'll watch sports. Girl, you might hate sports, but he expects you to lay there and be there and, you know, like, damn, you can't even sit here and watch sports with me. But at the time,
I don't know about that, y'all. I have to be honest. I tried to watch sports with Mister. Like, he's turning it into everything. He's like, he's going to force you to watch sports. First and foremost, some women actually like sports, okay? For some women, nobody has to force them to sit there and watch a game. They will watch the game because they want to watch the game. Number 2, I know Mister doesn't even like me around during sports. He's not trying to have me hang out with him during sports. Number 1, because I don't understand sports. I ask too many questions. I'm always talking about what team's outfits I like more. Literally, I tried to sit and watch sports with Mister once, and he got so sick of me talking, he sent me away. I just don't know that these, you know, they might want you to bring them some food, keep their glass full. They might not mind you sitting there with them watching sports if you actually understand sports and you guys can enjoy it together. But I don't know men who just force women. I don't know any, I've never met a man. Maybe you guys have. Tell me, have y'all ever met a man who's been like, woman, get over here and watch this football game with me. I don't care if you don't like it. Sit down and enjoy this game. I don't know a man that does that. Okay. Normally men are trying to be with other men when they're watching sports. The exception would be if they have a woman who goes hard for their sports team. Then men typically do enjoy that. But I just don't know men who force women to sit down and watch sports. I mean, he's everywhere with this conversation. Like, where is this going on? Maybe some of you have experienced this. Maybe some of you have been in a relationship where a man on Super Bowl Sunday insisted that you sit down and sit through that boring game with him. I have never experienced this. I've never seen that happen. I really don't. Yes, exactly. Great Black. Great Black said, if you're not into sports, we don't want your babbling asses around. That's my experience. Most men are not trying to have me in the room. Female, you don't even know what you're talking about. The only women allowed during sports time are women who actually enjoy and understand sports. Clearly he is gay because he knows nothing about straight relationships. Okay. He does not know how our relationships work. This is not how straight people get down, okay? This is where he's gonna go south because he's making too many. He's making too many guesses, and his guesses are incorrect.
You watch Real Housewives or something like that, girl, he will not sit down and watch it with you, girl. He will not go with you to get your nails done. He will not pick out a nail color for you.
Oh my gosh, did he just say that? Did he just say that he will force you to watch sports, but he will not sit down and watch Real Housewives with you? Now, there may be some men that get a kick out of Real Housewives. Mr. finds those kind of shows repulsive. I don't watch TV, but he talks about those kind of things. He finds that kind of stuff repulsive. But more than that, if my man was like, "Ooh, babe, Real Housewives is on. Yo, let's sit down and watch this." I would be like, "What? What in the world? Why are you so excited?" Are you excited because the women are attractive? Or are you excited for the same reasons that my girlfriends and I are excited? Like, I don't even watch Real Housewives or anything like that. I'm just saying that I know what kind of show it is. I don't know if it's actually a problem if your man doesn't want to watch that show. I'm going to have more questions if he does want to watch the show. He better be watching it because the women are attractive. I'm going to need some, he's talking about he won't go to the nail salon with you. No, men don't even lightweight like to go shopping with you unless it's lingerie shopping and there's going to be a try on. Mr. has a very low tolerance for shopping with me. He told me when I shop, I go in, I find what I want, I get out. You pitter putter around too much. Nobody wants to be a part of that. I don't like to hear it, but that's what he says. I don't know, but Mr. Straight. So maybe I don't need. Now, I'll say this. I was in a relationship once where there was a specific nail color that he wanted me to wear, which was red. I find that men only get involved in makeup and nails and stuff if there's something that they prefer. So, for example, if your man prefers a conservative look, he might let you know, I prefer that conservative look. I know for me, Mr. does not like red lipstick. He does not like red lipstick. He prefers a more natural look. But he's not all up in the bathroom and at Sephora with me trying to help me pick out makeup. He will just go, "Oh, I don't like red lipstick. I like a more natural look." That's about as involved as a straight man is about to get in these things. Okay? He's not trying to go to the nail salon with you. Ladies, we barely want to go to the nail salon. Like, we like the foot massage and all that, but that's a lot of time out of the day. Nobody wants to just sit for 2 hours while you get your nails done and a paraffin dip and all that kind of stuff. Even if your man goes in there and gets a quick manicure or something. I don't know a lot of men that like people touching their feet, but there are some. But even if you go in there and he gets a little manicure or something, your nails and your feet are going to take longer than his. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is not actually a critique of straight men. They're straight. They're not gay. Now, some straight men, they like to treat their women like dolls. So they might show up for all the shopping and stuff because they really just want to get you dressed up and put you together the way they like you. That's a little different from what he's talking about. And that is more rare. But our men are not our girlfriends. Okay? If I want to watch Real Housewives with somebody, if I want to go get my nails done, if I want to go shopping, I normally do that with other women. That's why I have girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? That healthy division where you actually go and live a life. You know what I'm saying? That is not completely dependent upon your man. When I want to do some extra girly stuff, some real female stuff, I find another woman and we go do that together because we will get equal pleasure out of it. I don't think it's an indictment on heterosexual men that they're not wanting to do these things. That doesn't mean that they're toxic. That's not because they're homophobic. It's because they're men. They're straight men. And straight men are not going to be wearing lip gloss and getting their nails done with you. It's just not what they do.
Girl, he will not, anything that has to do with femininity, girl, he's not here for that, okay? Because he doesn't want you to ever have a hint that he may be feminine just a tad bit, girl. He doesn't want to be anything other than hypermasculine. He wants to make sure that you look at him as a real man, okay? And a real man can sit down and watch Real Housewives with his girlfriend. A real man can go to the nail shop and pick out a color for his girlfriend. A real man can go buy makeup for his girlfriend. That has nothing to do with you being less of a man, being gay.
Wait, did he say a real man could go buy makeup for his girlfriend? What in the world? No, a real man can't. Let me tell you something. When we were in Vegas, I had to go to Sephora to get some body glitter. I wanted some Tom Ford body glitter. And thank you, Neon Eyes, by the way. I wanted some Tom Ford body glitter. Do you know, I was upset. I had never gone to a makeup place with a man before. It was my first time. He was off in a corner somewhere. I was trying to get him to come around and get my opinion on if he liked the various, body shimmers I was trying. He was pissed. He just wanted me to get that crap and go. He was overwhelmed. He's like, it's too much. He cussed. He was like, it's too much, SHIT going on up in here. Just get the glitter and go. You came in here for one thing. Why are you buying other stuff? He was irritated. It's not because he was trying to be hyper masculine. It's because Mr. doesn't wear makeup. He's got a face full of hair. I'm not trying to hang out the barbershop with him. He's not trying to be at Sephora with me. I will tell you what a real man is. A real man, and this is about as manly and as loving for a woman as a man can get. I start my period and have nothing in the house to catch that. And he goes, despite really not wanting to do it, and picks me up some sanitary napkins or tampons or something. That is a sign of love for a man. I'm not going to send my man to the store for mascara. First of all, ladies, do we really want anybody going and picking out our makeup for us? Isn't that something we like to do for ourselves anyway? Okay. I just don't know. I'm not, clearly he's gay. He is gay. I will say he is a homosexual man because he knows nothing about male-female dynamics in straight relationships. He knows like zero about this life.
That's you being there with your woman and taking interest in things that she likes to do. That is a part of her life. Now, men that are not secure with themselves are not going to do that with you. They don't want you to ever have any reason to say that they are anything other than masculine. Okay, they don't want you to ever think that they have any type of feminine qualities, any feminine interests, and your interests are feminine. They may be feminine, and so he doesn't want you to think that he ever has an interest in that because he's so uncomfortable with his masculinity. And a lot of people are going to confuse this conversation or me saying that him being homophobic means that he's gay. That is the case some of the times. That's not the case all of the times. You have to realize that as men in America and as an African American black man here in America, we were raised to be hypermasculine. We were not allowed to cry when we was little. Like, stop crying, that's for girls, that's for girls, this is for girls, that's for girls. So we were not allowed access to any feminine things, and we were not allowed access to emotions. We could not have emotions, and the more you had emotions, the more you were like a girl. So when you raise men like this, and you train them to be hypermasculine, and you train them that anything feminine or any feminine qualities pulls them away from being a man, then I would be scared of it too, okay?
It's interesting that he assumes that heterosexual men who don't approve of homosexuality are not engaging in these behaviors. Even like it's almost like he thinks they secretly want to engage in these behaviors. I think he's so detached from what heterosexuality is that it's hard for him to believe that some of us just don't want to engage in some sorts of things. Some of us don't. It's just really not an interest. Some guys really just don't want to go to the nail shop. That is just really something they don't want to do. And it's not because of them not liking gay people. It's because they have zero interest. Some men just don't want to go buy makeup with you. They don't want to sit there while you swatch 30 shades of lipstick. You might get a man to go to a different part of the store and come back with a credit card to pay for what you bought. But as far as just sitting there, so like a lot of what he's talking about is just so detached from what heterosexuals are. Heterosexuals are not tailoring our behavior. Not heterosexual men, not heterosexual women. We're not tailoring our behavior to be anti-gay. We're just straight. That's just how we are. We don't go about our lives going, I'm not going to do this because it's gay. I'm not going to do that because it's gay. You know what? I'm not going to go buy that because it's gay. That's not how we work. We're just being ourselves. Everything we do is not about us having a problem with gay people. We're just doing it because that's normal. Okay? Gay people are the one who act differently because they're gay. I did a whole video where you saw people, gay dudes and transgenders giving tutorials on how to talk like women. They are on this single white female kick, not us. That's not straight people. Gay people change their behavior to be more like women. We don't have to try to not be like gay people. We're straight. We're the standard. Straight people are the standard. Everybody else is trying to act. You have gay women trying to act like straight men. You have gay men trying to act like straight women. We are not trying to emulate or get away from being like you guys. You guys are trying to act like us. The men are trying to act like straight women, look like straight women, move like straight women, have limp wrists, talk softly. They're copying us. The gay women are copying straight men. They copy us. It doesn't work in the adverse. We are not acting a certain way to not be like you. Y'all are bad imitations of us, poor imitations of us. In a homosexual relationship, there's a masculine, normally a more masculine person and a more feminine person. That is them trying to emulate a straight couple where there is a masculine energy and a feminine energy. Straight people are not emulating y'all. We're not behaving in a way to not be like you. You guys are copying us. You guys are distorting the standard. They are distorting the standard, and the standard is heterosexuality. It is interesting how he has internalized these behaviors and got it completely twisted. That's not how this game works. We're not over here trying to not be gay. That's not how. We don't have to try to not be gay. We're not gay. That's not how this thing works. We're not over here constantly fighting to stay as far away from the gay side of the tracks as possible. That's not an attempt we have to make because we're straight. I always talk about the lesbian representative from California. I have the footage here on my channel when they were passing the law to ban conversion therapy. She stood up and talked about how she had to struggle to be gay. She had to struggle to get over her own aversion to having sex with another woman. Straight people, we're not struggling to force ourselves to be okay to have sex with each other. That's not a struggle that we have because what we're doing is normal. When I feel attracted to a man, I don't feel ashamed about that. Why do I not feel ashamed about that? Because it's normal. I don't have to struggle with myself about my emotions. So I think he's got the game twisted. You know, like he's got this life confused a little bit. he's got he's Look, OG Bootsy, his makeup is on fleek. I'm not even going to be mad at him. His eyebrows are nice. His lips are nice. His flipping mustache is together. If he were straight and he carried himself differently, he would make somebody a wonderful partner. Right now, he's just making, he looks like he might be a bottom. He's just making, you know, a good sexual object for another man. I'm not hating on that lip gloss that he's wearing. Trust me.
You know, it took me some time to break out of trying to be hypermasculine. I was never that. I was never hypermasculine, but I was constantly trying. I wasn't that successful at it. But I was
Oh my gosh, you guys. Did I not just say this? Did I just not say that we don't have to fake, but they do? And he's validating this right now.
constantly trying only because that was the way that I was raised to be, because it was the right thing as a man. Okay, so sometimes it's not even about a man being gay and he's trying to hide it. Sometimes it has to do with the man trying to be the best way that he was told that a man should be. Okay, if you're taught that that's the best way, and this is the best man, this is the strongest man, this is the most qualified man for a marriage, and you want to be in a marriage, I mean, it makes sense. Okay, so I just want to say that we have to stop this narrative that men have to be hypermasculine to be a man. Like, that's a man, that's a strong man. Like, you can be a strong man and still have feminine qualities. Some of the times, a homophobic man like this, a man that's not secure with himself, it sometimes can mean that you got a gay man on your hands. Yes, it does, and I think we all know this. Some of the most homophobic men are usually the ones that are gay or not gay or bisexual.
Well, I give him credit for getting 13 minutes into this 15-minute video, and just now he's pulling out the "if your man doesn't like gay people, he's probably gay" card. I give him credit. He went a long time without saying it, but he's getting around to it. But I give him credit because most gay men would have pulled that out of the pocket like at the beginning of the video. So I give him credit because he's a little more smooth with his. You know, he brought out rape first. He said that, you know, homophobic men rape women. He started with that. He started with rape because that was more shocking. But he's ending with, in the beginning, he might rape you. At the end, he might be gay. I mean, his beginning and his close are amazing. He is an orator. And I just want to say again, for those of you who are not here for the beginning of this, I am not encouraging harassment of this man. Like I said, he looks like he's about young enough to be my child. So don't pick on him. I'm not trying to send people to his channel. I would have kept him anonymous, but he has his name popping up on the screen a lot. So there was no point in me ripping this video and playing it without his name because, you know, and of course, this video is not going to be monetized because I'm not trying to make money off of his conversation. But I did think it was interesting that he is not handling his male business with other men. He has a problem with straight men who have issue with gay men. But instead of him addressing and dealing with other men, he's attempting to weaponize straight women against our own men. And that is a problem. And the women who see and hear these kind of arguments, we have to peep this for what it is. This is an attempt to weaponize heterosexual women against heterosexual men. Now, in what world are you going to be a heterosexual woman weaponized against straight men? This is very, very messy. And this is why I say we have to really have a zero tolerance for these people, because it will be being soft on somebody that you love. And then they will start making these crazy arguments. And next thing you know, you're fighting with your husband or your man over a dude because he wants you to help him get these straight men in check. He wants you to help him let straight men know it's okay to watch Real Housewives and go to Sephora and buy makeup. This is literally, these are his talking points. Real men buy makeup. Real men watch Real Housewives. He literally was like in this live or this video saying this. Men who don't like gay people, they rape women. He literally said this. He literally said, men who don't like gays rape women. Just making every attempt to weaponize heterosexual men or heterosexual women against heterosexual men.
Or queer or pan, anything, girl. It usually means that they have some curiosity and they're trying to deter people from the idea that they may have that curiosity and they're trying to hide it. And sometimes it's not that. Sometimes it really is just what it seems like, an insecure man. And sometimes it's not gonna always be blatant. Like, it's not gonna always just be when he sees a gay person, he calls them an F word. Like, sometimes it's gonna be a little subtle. It's gonna be, y'all are in a conversation, and because I'm in that conversation, a gay man, he's not gonna engage. Like, he's going out of his way to avoid gay people.
Yeah, and you know what? If there is a straight man who doesn't want to talk to a gay man, I don't see a problem with that. Now, I've done panels with gay people and stuff like that, and if I'm at, like, I've gone into like Neiman Marcus or something, and I've gone to, let's say, the Dior counter, and the man working there, and I'm using this as an example because when I was down south, when I would go, because I wear my favorite mascara is Dior Show, and when I would go to the Dior counter, the man that was almost always there was homosexual. Obviously, I would talk to him because I have to buy my makeup for him. But as far as just hanging out and talking to gay people, I don't do that because I don't approve of your lifestyle, because I don't socialize with homosexuals, right? If you're bagging my groceries, if you're working at a makeup counter, I'm not going to like leave the store. I'm still going to be polite. Now, I have to say, when we get to the transgender thing, I do get really uncomfortable. If I have my children with me, I'm not trying to have them have that level of engagement. But on the whole, like, if we're just out in the world, I can pass a gay person on the street, or a gay person can be like, cute kid or nice hair or something, and I'm not going to flip out. Most of us are sane people, right? But as far as just hanging out at the barbecue, talking and kikiing it up with the gay person, I'm not going to do it because I don't approve of your lifestyle. So if a person is genuine because they don't approve, and we're not going to sit here and be in a social setting and me pretend like I have no issues here, that's not a problem. I think the nicest thing a person can do is say nothing. You know what I mean? I have a gay person in my family. If we go to the family reunion, I'm not going to go confront her on her homosexuality at the family reunion. But I'm also not going to sit down and talk to her. Please do not come over to me and try to strike up a damn conversation. That's not me going out of my way to hurt anybody. That's me going out of my way not to hurt you, because y'all know I have no chill. So I might not want to say something because you're not going to like what I have to say. So my level of politeness, I cannot engage you because I cannot be fake. But I might disengage out of respect, right? Out of respect for the situation, out of respect for you as a person, I simply will not engage you. He's got a problem with that. But look, you have to recognize that you are asking too much of some people. Some of us do not approve of homosexuality. And whilst we will not go out of our way to treat anybody like crap, we also are not going to go out of our way to talk to you. You're not going to get conversation from some of us, because you might get some conversation you don't like. You might get too much realness. You may not want a conversation with somebody who strongly disapproves of homosexuality. You need to appreciate that we are respectful enough to not talk to you. That is called respect. That is about as tolerant as some of us are willing to be. We are tolerant enough to not be disrespectful. That is something to be grateful for, not something to shame us for. Like, if y'all want to be out here in these streets and we just really say how we really feel all the time, oh, it's going to be a new world. So I just feel like people should take what you can get. You know, when you don't like somebody, but you're not about to talk, you know, to make your friend's birthday party WWF simply because you don't like somebody they invited. So what do? You just take a wide berth around that person that you're not trying to deal with. That is what civilized people do. Civilized people go, okay, I'm not going to tell you about yourself, but I'm also not going to talk to you. But this young man has a problem with that. This young man has a problem with the idea that I don't want to be bothered with you, and I'm not going to drag you for your sexuality, but I also am not going to talk to you. Look, if you are around a straight man who feels very strongly adversely against homosexuals, you should be happy that he chooses not to talk to you. Because there's a group of men in our community who'll be ready to pop them in the face and throw them out of the community. That might be a more productive way to go about things, but people try to be civilized these days. So what do you want from these straight guys? You need them to talk to you too? They can't choose to not engage you? You need to be careful who you ask for engagement. Sometimes the most tolerance you're going to get out of a person is disengagement. When you try to force people to engage you, and this is the real problem with the LGBTQAI movement, they keep trying to force us to engage them. Look, we are tolerating you. Let it be there. Stop trying to force us to engage you. If people don't want to talk to you, if they don't want to be around you, if they want to take a wide berth when they see you, allow them their space. Everybody doesn't have to hold a conversation with you. Tolerance doesn't mean engagement. That's not what tolerance means. We're already doing a lot tolerating this mess. We're not going to engage, and we're not about to, as straight women, shame heterosexual men for not wanting to engage homosexual men. What does a heterosexual man have to say to a homosexual man? Y'all let me know. What does a straight dude have to say to a gay person in a social setting? I don't know. Let's finish it out. He has 2 minutes left in his video.
Another thing they'll do is they'll never like to talk about it. Like, you'll probably bring it up, or you'll see something on Instagram, or you see a gay person or a gay person that you follow. They don't want to talk about them. Okay, if you got a cousin that's gay, they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about anything gay. They don't want to talk about anything queer. Like, they're just so uncomfortable when the conversation comes up, and that should be a red flag for you. Because let me just tell you something: no secure man, no confident man that is really okay with himself, his masculinity, his sexuality, is going to feel uncomfortable around another human being. The men that are secure and confident.
That is not true. He said no secure man, no confident man is going to feel uncomfortable around another human being. That is not true. There are a lot of people that will make all of us uncomfortable, and we're perfectly secure. If I meet a cannibal, you know, somebody that eats people, I'm going to be uncomfortable. If I know, you know how you can check your neighborhood to see where the registered sex offenders are? And they show you pictures of their faces. If I'm walking down the street and I see somebody that was on my local sex offender registry, I'm going to feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable when gay people try to engage me. I do. I really do. Because I have to then exact willpower. Because some of us are of the opinion that homosexuality is very toxic and destructive to our society. Some of us don't care who you have sex with in theory, but we don't want that brought into our space. And so it does make us uncomfortable. If I'm around somebody who's overtly racist, I'm going to feel uncomfortable. Feeling uncomfortable around people who do not share an ideology with you or who have an ideology that is greatly adverse to yours to a point where it repulses you is normal. That is normal. This idea that you're going to be comfortable with any sort of human being is BS. None of us are comfortable with any sort of human being. Sometimes somebody might call you out of your name, and the next time you see them, you feel uncomfortable. That doesn't mean that you're insecure. It means that the last time I saw you, you called me out of my name. I don't want to be around you. It's okay to be uncomfortable around other human beings. This idea that we're just going to all be comfortable, if you're secure, you're just going to be comfortable around any and everybody, that is not true. This is real life. People feel uncomfortable around some kinds of other people for various reasons. That's nothing to be ashamed of. Sometimes I might be uncomfortable for you. When I say that I'm uncomfortable being socially engaged by gay people, what I mean is that I am uncomfortable for them. See, because you put me in a position where I am not a politically correct person in a world where people want you to be politically correct. So when you socially engage me and I don't talk the way that you're used to in this, far left liberal fairyland, you're going to feel some kind of way. So I feel uncomfortable because I don't know what I might say to you. I might say anything, y'all. You know how hard I'm trying in this live. You guys know that I have no chill. I am doing so well in this live. I'm trying really hard to mind my words in this live. Because this is a young man and because his name is out here on YouTube. And I don't want to encourage anything negative against him. But in reality, you guys know how I talk. Can you imagine? I talk like this in real life too. I don't need to be engaged by any homosexual. You don't want to engage me. I am uncomfortable because I might say something to make you uncomfortable. And then I'm going to feel a lot more comfortable. But then one of us is going to be upset. I don't like having my limits tested. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I get uncomfortable when people start testing my limits. Like, you're really pushing on my limits here. You're really asking for a real conversation here. Can you take 5 steps back before I have to comfortably share with you how I really feel? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to be uncomfortable. That has nothing to do with security. I might be uncomfortable for your sake. A straight man might be uncomfortable because he feels very strongly. Or let me say this, even, I did a video on how homosexuals molest children more per capita. And that the reason they are able to say that that is not the case is because when a homosexual molests a child of the same sex, they do not consider it homosexual molestation. They consider it pedophilia. But if you add in the cases of same-sex pedophilia, the numbers work out that homosexuals molest children more per capita. So some people may feel uncomfortable around homosexuals because they're more likely to abuse a child, especially those homosexuals that are in your family, since children are most abused by people in close proximity to them. And we know that we have child sexual abuse rates in the Black community that are astronomical. So somebody is messing with these babies. Like, there are a million reasons a person might feel uncomfortable around a gay person. Maybe you were molested. I know some men who were molested by other men in real life, y'all. I know men who were molested by other men. They may have a visceral, angry reaction to homosexuals. Somebody being uncomfortable around a gay person doesn't mean that they are insecure. There could be 1,000,010 reasons, from not wanting to be provoked to knocking you in your mouth to having had a negative encounter that a person may not want to be around a gay person. But to say that a man who doesn't want to sit and hold a conversation with a gay dude is insecure, I think is a little bit simplifying the situation. No, you don't have to be insecure to not want to talk to a gay person. That's not how this works. There's some white people that don't want to talk to black people. There's some black people that don't want to talk to white people. It has nothing to do with insecurity. Maybe we just don't like you. You know, you ever had an arch enemy? You don't want to be around that person. You don't want to talk to that person. You don't want to engage that person. That has nothing to do with your insecurity. It could have something to do that you don't want to fight. You know, it's like, I don't know. It's a very simplistic and base way of looking at things.
In themselves are the ones that are going to let women be women. They're going to let women be free. Okay, they're going to love women the right way. They're going to let women be strong. They're going to let women be successful. No homophobic, toxic, masculine man that's uncomfortable with himself is ever going to do that for a woman. And I'm sitting here, I'm letting you know this now. I'm telling you, it does not stop at homophobia. It is way bigger than just gay people, girl. So straight women, what can you do? Okay, you can hold your man accountable. Okay, you can ask him, how do you?
Okay, so now he's gonna now that he's laid down the foundation, he started with homophobic men rape women. That was his first premise, that they're rapists. They rape women to feel more masculine. And he ended with, they might be gay, and if they were secure in their heterosexuality, they wouldn't have a problem with gay people. And now he's going straight women. What can you do to be weaponized against your own men? First and foremost, hold your men accountable. He wants straight women to hold straight men who do not approve of homosexuality accountable. He wants us to hold them accountable. What else would he like us to do?
Feel about gay people. See how he feels. Does he get uncomfortable? Does he start stuttering? You know, does he have gay friends? Does he have gay family? Figure these things out, girl, because it's way bigger than just gay people. Okay, because the way he feels about that usually is going to affect you. Okay, and if you don't see it now, you will see it.
So number one, hold him accountable for not liking gay people. Number two, realize that if he doesn't like the idea of two men having sex, that has something to do with you as a straight woman, because obviously there is a direct correlation between a straight man disapproving of homosexuality and his feelings about gay people. Hi, JV. I don't know what his reasoning is, Lioness Mod. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't see how a straight dude not approving of gay people has anything to do with what he thinks about women. I don't see it, but he sees it.
The long run. And then when you do, I want you to come back to this video and I want you to comment it in the comments, because every single person in high school, every single person years ago, long time ago, that I have told, like, look, yo, man, they usually break up because of the reasons I said in this video. Like, I'm telling you. Okay, so look, if you know something else, or if you have had an experience with a man like this, or if you're a gay person and you have a friend like this, please tell me your experience. Please tell me your story. Tell me your opinions. What do you agree with? What do you not agree with? Please let me know in the comments, okay? My name is Tariq Ali. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you.
Okay, you guys, now he said, let me know what you agree with and what you don't agree with. So I've done a video on what I don't agree with. Again, I just want to say this. I don't like the idea of straight women being weaponized against gay men. I feel like I'm against straight men. I feel like if homosexual men have a problem with other men, they need to deal with those men. I think it's a very slick move. And it's not just this individual that's doing this. This is part of the LGBTQAI agenda, is to weaponize women against straight men, to conform our mindset to be more sympathetic and relate more to homosexual men than we do the men that we actually marry and reproduce with. And to me, that is a problem. I think that if a man is coming to women to check and hold accountable other men, hold men accountable, that is a problem. When does a man go to a bunch of women and say, hey, women, hold these men accountable? They don't like us. That's what he's saying. He's saying, hey, women, these men don't like us. You hold them accountable for us. We can't hold them accountable. So we're going to come and try to get you to do our work for us. But these men need to hash this out themselves. I have a feeling the straight men will come out on top. I think if us straight women back up off of this and stand on the side with heterosexual men, that the gay men cannot win this battle. They cannot win the battle without our cooperation, which is why I titled this, Are Black Women the Weakest Link? He is stepping to us because they are viewing us as the weakest link. The easiest way to infiltrate, the easiest way to affect straight men would be to get to the people that lie down in bed with them every day, so that we can get in their ear and have the few straight men that are left who disapprove of this lifestyle can form their minds. He's coming to the people that share beds with these men and telling us that we need to do the work for the gay community. We have to peep these tactics when we see them. We really do. So with that said, and Belladonna, I'm with you. I'm sorry, I keep calling you Bella because you know I have a Bella. Belladonna, I agree with you. I'm not going to cooperate either. He's going to get no cooperation out of me. Again, I'm about to get out of here, but I just want to reiterate, I am not encouraging anybody, and please do not go to this young man's page because he's young and harass him or treat him badly or anything like that. His name and everything was included in the video because I could not rip this without showing his name because he puts his name throughout his video. But I did not, this is not like an expose him or anything like that. This is purely talking about his talking points and his talking points only. We don't need to take our old butts over to this little boy's channel and, you know, do anything to him. But what we do need to do is analyze the talking points that these people have. This video was directed at Black women, at women in general, but specifically Black women, because that's who I see in his comment section. And so as a Black woman, I wanted to address this. I wanted to address the fallacy in what's coming out of his mouth and the blatant attempt to weaponize Black women, heterosexual Black women against heterosexual Black men. We cannot allow ourselves to be weaponized against our men. We cannot allow that. We cannot fight the gay people's fight for them. We cannot be weaponized to fight for gay people against our own men. That is a problem. And anytime somebody starts their argument with these men that don't like gays rape women, we need to just realize he's gone off into left field into some feminist talking points that have nothing to do with healthy dynamics between our men and women. And demonizing straight men is not the way to catch the ear of straight women. We cannot just sit around and just watch our men demonized, because these are the same people that will be happy to have sex with our men. Demonize them today, poke them in the butt tomorrow. It's like, really? Because you know, gay people recruit. So I guess they're just evil as long as they don't like homosexuality. But the minute they like homosexuality, all of a sudden they're secure, they're not bad, they won't rape women. You know, these are literally the arguments that were put forth today. And so we just need to recognize that and be on our guard and not be turned into weapons. So with that said, I am going to go. and I will talk to you guys later.